Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 13. We've made it so far. You got a couple more weeks. Just keep going. I know you can do it. So please, as always, reach out if you're having trouble. If you need some help, if you need some guidance, definitely send me an email, and we can talk. We can talk through chat or excuse me, or on the phone, whatever you need. So just let me know what I can do for you so we can move forward and finish up this class. We're so close to being done. With that in mind, just a couple reminders. So your class project is due May 5th. So that is coming up real quick. It's a pretty big project. So if you haven't started it, you need to be doing it. So, read through the instructions, reach out with questions, let me know what I can do to help. But that is due May 5th, no extensions. We're getting too close to the end of the quarter, or the end of the semester. So I cannot issue any extensions on that. So you need to have it done by May 5th. So please be scheduling that into your day to get that finished. Also, your final exam is due May 10th. So that's the last week of class. It's due by Wednesday. I have to have your grades turned in to the college by that weekend. So please, again, no extension. It has to be done by May 10th. So please make sure you're scheduling to get all your studying done, because you do have one chapter that week, chapter 16. You should be able to access it early if you want to study it early, but you will be doing chapter 16 that last week when your final exam is due. So please make sure that you're scheduling your time and get that submitted by, that's that Wednesday of that week. Wednesday, May 10th is your last to get your final exam. Is your last to get your final exam in. So please, public service announcement, please be working on your schedules. May 5th for your class project, May 10th for your final exam, and then you're done. You're so close. You're so close. Just keep going. All right, so this week we're talking about chapter 13. This is a long one. There's a lot of stuff in here. So we had talked about product development and pricing strategies last week. So this week we're moving on now to distributing and promoting your products, right? So you've developed it, you've priced it, you know what you want to do. So now we're going to try to get it out there. So we're going to distribute and advertise, promote for your product. So they talk about distribution channels, of course. So you have middlemen, you have merchants. So merchant middlemen take title and help to move your product for you, right? So they help to move to the right channels. And a lot of people say, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to have a middleman in here. So this is 13.1 and 13.3 talk about wholesalers and middlemen. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to pay a middleman. But if you think about it, every retail store is a middleman, right? You're not buying anything, very few things, directly from the distributor. Maybe in some cases, right? It's like the seen on TV things or something, maybe. But in most cases, like Walmart, Target, any grocery store, right? You're not going directly to a field to pick your vegetables, right? You're getting it through a middleman. So, I've heard a lot of, I think of my grandpa, I don't know, for some reason when I hear, I don't want to pay a middleman, I don't want to pay any extra fees, but everything is a middleman. I mean, gasoline, any gas station is a middleman. So anything that, you're not getting directly from the person who produces it or the place that produces it is a middleman. So, they are necessary to get in there. But so distribution channels, they talk about direct to the consumer. They talk about an agent in the middle. Two major channels of industrial products are producer to user and producer to agent, middleman to user. So kind of the same thing, right? Somebody produces it, somebody markets it and sells it, and then somebody buys it. That's really the chain always. So section 13.2, they talk about supply chain management. In my full-time job, this is kind of where I fit in. Our procurement is in our supply chain management. They talk about, because we're talking about products, right, not services, so it's a little different from what I do, but they talk about inefficiencies, reduces inefficiencies, cost redundancies to have a full supply chain management, right? So you're managing it from beginning to end. You normally pay someone to manage it for you beginning to end, but it covers Channel partners work together to cover delivery, scheduling, packaging, and consumer requirements, and using technology to do that. So it's a good discussion on supply chain management. It's what I've done for the last I don't know 30 years almost in different ways in a service industry, but still same idea. So we manage vendors, we make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, they're providing the services or products that they're supposed to provide, and that's um, we manage for our members, right? I work in healthcare, so for our members, we manage the vendors that are supplying the process for them or the product for them, whatever they need. 13.3 we talked about. 13.4 discuss major types of retailers and shopping centers. So they talk about department stores, discount stores, warehouse showrooms, convenience stores, supermarkets, superstores, warehouse clubs, like Sam's, Costco, and traditional specialty stores, off-price retailers. I don't know what do we have in this area that's an off-price retailer. So like Big Lots, and category killers. Um, Non-store retailers use direct selling, direct marketing, automatic vending instead of conventional stores. Um, Direct types of marketing include catalog, direct response, telemarketing. So there's a lot of different kinds of stores. There's a lot of different kinds of ways to reach your audience. They talk about shopping centers too and the differences there. 5 most important physical distribution activities, right? So physical distribution means actually getting stuff out the door. Like how do you get it to a wholesaler, from a wholesaler, to a retailer, to the end user? So this talks about the 5 major functions of a physical distribution are inventory management, order processing, warehousing, materials handling, and transportation, right? So you got to store it, you got to process your orders, you have to know what is in your inventory, right? You have to be able to manage it. You can't take an order for 500 pieces if you only have 200. So somebody has to manage that. Materials handling, it's typically your raw materials to make sure you have enough to make the inventory you need. And then transportation, obviously, getting it in and out the door. Integrated marketing communication have maximum impact on consumer. Integrated marketing communication is a coordination of promotion efforts. So you're getting the most bang for your buck, if you will, right? So you're hitting your target market, maybe a little bit outside your target market. You're hitting in the right areas at the right times, on the right channels, whatever it is, right? If your target market is 12 to 14-year-old girls, don't market it on the CBS News, right? They're not watching that. They're watching YouTube. They're watching TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're whatever the kids are doing these days. I don't know. My daughter's normally on TikTok. That's what I know. So you want to hit the right channels and make sure you're getting to the right places and the right people. If your market is 75 plus years of age, right? So you're hitting like the older market. Don't put it on TikTok. They don't even know what that is, right? They're not there. So you want to hit the right channels at the right times, and so to get your right size promotional campaign. Basic elements of the promotional mix. They talk about advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, public relations. The role of promotion is to facilitate exchanges directly or indirectly and to help an organization maintain favorable relationship in groups with the marketing environment. What does that mean? Promotion makes you look good, right? It's to get your message out to people, what your company does, and to make you look your best, right? So if you are, a green company or you do diverse hiring or whatever it is, those are the things you want to put in your promotional mix. That helps to get the word out of who you are, what you stand for, and why people should buy from you. 3 types of advertising, major steps in advertising. So the 3 types of advertising. Primary demand advertising promotes the products of an entire industry rather than a single brand. So primary demand would be like the Got Milk campaign, right? They don't talk about a milk producer or a milk distributor. They talk about the whole of the milk industry. So like the Got Milk campaign would be primary demand. Then they talk about selective demand advertising promotes a particular brand of product. So selective demand advertising would be like the Nike Just Do It campaign, right? So they're not talking about a specific Nike product. They're talking about Nike as a full brand. So that would be selective demand. And then last is institutional advertising, is image building advertising for a firm. So that is like your public relations, right? It's building your image, not talking about your products or your lines. Um, they talk about a campaign. You can read that. Recognize the kinds of salesperson, 13.9, recognize the kinds of salesperson, the steps in the personal selling process, and the major sales marketing management tasks. So this is about different kinds of selling, right? Different kinds of process. Um, the types of salespeople. So there's order getters, order takers, and support personnel. 6 steps in personal selling process are prospecting, approaching the prospect, making the presentation, answering questions, closing the sales, following up. So this I always think of like a car salesman, right? So you're on a lot looking for a car. I don't know if people even still do that, but you go to a car lot and you're looking for a car, and a salesman comes up to you. So he has already, the salesperson has already done their process, their prospecting, right? They've looked at you, they've looked at the car you came in, they look at how you're dressed, what they think, the image they're forming of you, right? Of what they think you're gonna do. Then they approach you to find out what you want to do and see how it matches up to the sales pitch they already have in their head. Now they're going to make the presentation based on those two things, what they already know or assume, and then now what you've told them you want to do. So they're making their presentation there, and now they say, oh, I can put you in this $70,000 car, and you say, no, I only want to spend, whatever, $40,000 on a car. So this is your negotiation time, this answering objectives. Objections. So you're negotiating, you're talking, you're figuring out. They're trying to upsell you. You're trying to downplay what you want to spend. So, you're kind of in the middle. That's what that section is. Now they're closing the sale. They get you to agree to a $50,000 car or something, right? And then after all that's done, they close the sale. You do the paperwork. You drive home. A week or so later, they call and say, hey, how's the car? How's it going? Should you have bought the more expensive model, right? So they're still trying to sell you in that process. But service is part of the following up process as well. So 1310 talks about sales promotion objectives and methods. Sales promotion is the use of activities and materials as direct inducements to customers and people. Sales promotions enhance and supply other promotional methods. Includes rebates, coupons, samples, premiums, frequent user incentives, point of purchase displays, trade shows, buying allowances, and corporate advertising. In my economics class that I teach, we talk a lot about incentives. And part of the 10 principles of economics is that people love incentives, right? They are more willing to buy if they think they're getting a deal, usually, if there's some kind of incentive for them to buy. So this sales promotion objectives plays into the 10 basic principles of economics. You need to offer something. Very few people are just going to come in and say, I want to pay full sticker price, right? Like, I just want to pay retail. I don't want anything else. People like these extra things to incentivize them to buy things. So, distributors, retailers, they have to work out what looks like a great deal, what looks like a great promotion, but doesn't actually make them lose money, right? They have to still make money on the process. But how can they make it seem like, they're taking a loss or giving you a great deal? Like, how many, I go back to the car reference, like, how many commercials do you see, like, the manager's gone crazy sale, we're slashing prices? They're not slashing prices. They're still making money. They are not selling cars at a loss. They make it seem like they are. They want you to think that you are taking them to the cleaners. You're not. They're still making money. They always do. They wouldn't be in business if they didn't. But those are the kind of promotions they put out to make it seem like you're really taking advantage of them. So, those are good considerations when you're marketing your product. How can you make it seem like they're really getting a deal? And then last, 1311, they talk about public relations. So public relations is all. It's not just your promotion of a certain item. It's not just the incentive you're putting out for, X brand of shoes. It is it's your full publicity, right? So think of like a Hollywood superstar or something, right? They have public relations people who manage everything, not just promoting the current movie they're in, but they manage their entire identity. So you only know that person as their public relations person, people in some cases, let you know, right? You don't really know, right? You think you know, but you only know what their public relations lets you know. And that it's similar in business, right? You have a full public relations package to identify who you are, to set your image as a company, and to hopefully have a positive image. That's the idea, right? Very few companies want a negative image, unless that's what they're going for. Who knows what people are doing? But so it's defined as a broad set of communication activities used to create and maintain favorable relationships between an organization and various public groups. So it really is just setting your total image, your total, not just one product, not just one release, not just one, hire, or who your CEO is, or what. It's your full package of who you are as a company, and what you stand for, and what people can expect from your company as a whole all the time. So think of like Patagonia or REI, like they have their outdoor green initiatives. I mean, that's what you think of, right? When I say the name Patagonia, right? It's expensive, you know that. But they have this reputation of being top quality and environmentally friendly, and that's what people buy for. It's okay that it costs a little bit more, because people feel like they're making a positive contribution because of the public relations that Patagonia has instilled in us, right? The public relations campaigns they have done to instill these thoughts in our heads. So, it's hard to say if it's true or not. Hopefully it is. But that's, what they want you to think, that it's okay. I mean, their incentive is you feel better at being environmentally responsible from buying their products, and so you pay a little bit more, and that's okay, and they make a little bit more, and that's okay for them. So that's public relations. All right, so that was a very long chapter, but hopefully you've made it through the whole chapter. Don't forget to be turning in your homeworks. That makes a big difference in your grade. So if you've missed any and you need me to reopen them, I will reopen them for the next couple weeks. So just let me know what weeks you need. I will reopen them for you so you can get them done. Bigger assignments, if you're missing any bigger assignments, let's talk about them. But your weekly homeworks, let's get them turned in, and make the most of your grades. So a couple weeks left. You guys are doing great. Thanks for sticking it out, and we will talk again next week.